Hello, everyone, and welcome to a week later.
Oh, are we everyone? Are we live? Sorry,
We are
we're live.
tits.
Tits. Is it? Hang on, I'm looking. Oh, it says Jay and Stu talk about Ascension of the Cybermen. You've used the wrong thumbnail.
Have I? Are you
Yeah,
sure? Because YouTube sometimes does a bug where it just shows the wrong thumbnail.
or is it YouTube? I don't know. I could
I
be.
think it's YouTube.
Let's just blame YouTube because it's easier.
It is easier.
Anyway,
It's wait, it's the wrong thumbnail for me
people.
as well, but I don't.
Yes,
I've not.
people doing give Stu money. Yeah, give Stu money. That's the
Give
new
Stu money.
meme. As
I'll
well
get on board
as
with it.
as well as boobs with eights instead of B's.
I'll see if I've got the wrong thumbnail up there. If it shows, no, it shows the right one for me. So I think it's just
Oh, it came up. Yeah, it's probably just a YouTube thing.
yeah, it is. Thankfully,
Yeah,
thankfully, I get to blame someone else this time.
yeah. Can I do my plug? We agreed that I
You
was allowed to
can. You can
to
plug a
plug
thing.
something. Yeah, I will plug a thing. Yeah, I've got a story in this anthology called Alternative Apocalypse, which is weird, different takes on the apocalypse, and it's recently been put up on Audible. So if you want to download the Audible app and buy a thing, which I've got a story in, go do that.
Fuck, I should have got an Audible sponsorship.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I should have mentioned that. You could have got some money out of that.
Well, no, I don't think they're particularly interested in sponsoring a
Well,
stream
no,
like this
it's
one.
any YouTuber can do it, I think. Yeah, Alternative Apocalypse. Search for it on the Audible app and listen to a story that I wrote. It's called The Yes No Machine, and it's set in the country where they've elected to run their government a plastic box that just says the words yes or no.
I like it. That sounds like Britain.
Yeah, so you go out to the box and you ask it for a decision on a piece of legislation like should we legalize marijuana, and it just says yes or no.
I like it. I like. I mean,
Yeah,
that would almost. That I could see. I could see us getting to the point where we do that.
yeah, it'd probably be safer.
Yes.
Yeah, so the book's all stuff like that by much more talented writers than me.
I refuse to
Anyway,
believe
go
such creatures exist.
anyway, go download it and give me all the money in the world ever.
That's a lot of money. Fuck.
Yeah. Anyway, so Doctor Who occurred.
It did. So, Ascension of the Cybermen is a very is a 10-minute episode about a policeman.
Called Brendan.
Yes, and that's it. That's all that happens in it. It's a very
It's
strange departure.
Yeah, it's a very nice little experimental short film
It is.
made by some film students over a weekend.
And then there's like a
Very
weird
nice,
subplot.
some very nice some very beautiful shots of the countryside.
There's like a weird subplot about these aliens in space that doesn't matter, but it's all about the policeman.
Called Brendan.
Yeah, we've got someone in the chat. What the fuck was up about that plot line? We don't know yet. That's the thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. On its own, it's meaningless.
So we have a plot where the police where the okay. So there's this guy. You see so you see this couple find a baby abandoned in the road, and they're like, oh my god, what the fuck? And they take they contact the police. No parents can be found, so they adopt the kid, right? And you see the kid grow up over the course of like several cutaways during the episode to the main story from the B story. Um, and you see him grow up, become a police officer. You see him trying to stop a thief who shoots him. He falls off a cliff, like a huge cliff, and then he gets up and he's fine. In most things, that would be like, oh my god, I can't believe they wrote that. But it's intentional. It's very clear. Oh, they're suggesting that something's wrong here, and like it's weird that he survived, and that's the point. And then you see him old, and he's retiring from being a policeman, and then he walks outside. His dad is there, and they put him in like a machine that looks like a chameleon arch, and they say you can't remember what's happened to you, or something like that. And they're going to clear his memories, and that's the end of the plot.
So yeah, that was Doctor Who.
That was Ascension of the Cybermen.
It's like when the episode started, I just thought, has he written an episode of Born and Bred by mistake?
I saw that tweet.
Yeah, because it's all like 1950s countryside, and it's a story about a kid who was found on the side of the road, and these parents raised him as their own. And isn't that a heartwarming bit of drama? It is like Chris Chibnall wanted to write Born and Bred, but that series is over.
Oh my god, imagine if that's the thing he's nostalgic for and that's all he wants to do with his career. And he's
He just
slowly
wants
trying
the
to figure out how to turn Doctor Who into Born and Bred.
It's just like, I came up with a character called Brendan. Do you like him?
I like that you said that, like, coming up with the fact that he's called Brendan is the hard bit. Like, I came up with the idea of having a character called Brendan.
His name is his name is Brendan.
His name is Brendan.
That's the most sci-fi thing about it.
But that plot takes, what,
Can
like
you
5 to
imagine
10
someone
minutes?
called Brendan?
Fuck, I didn't even know that that was, like, possible. But when it comes to the subplot, what we're going to call the subplot with the Cybermen and the Doctor, right?
And all this space shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah. How did you feel about it all, generally?
It was fucking dumb, wasn't it?
Right?
Really, just fucking. Okay, here's the thing. There are 3 types of Cybermen stories. There is the type that actually recognizes the concept, the horror of converting humans
Real time.
into these strange machines, which World Enough in Time does, or the Cyberman story type 2, which just treats them as generic robot people, which the classic show did this a lot as well, Earthshock. And there's Cyberman story type 3, which tries to combine the two. Usually it fails to combine the two, but I do applaud that they're actually, using the point of the Cybermen. And going into this episode, reading the synopsis, that it was going to be in the future, the last of the humans are being hunted down by the Cybermen. I just thought, this is probably going to be a Cyberman type 2 story, isn't it? There's just going to be generic robot people around to just blow shit up.
Right. And it kind of was.
Yeah.
Even with the lone Cyberman there, he's like... the concept was sort of wasted this time around. He was just angry. That was it.
He was just angry, and he just sort of marches around looking for these lone surviving humans. And it's like, we could have actually used the concept here. It could have been like the Doctor has to... Yeah, it could have been like Doctor Falls. Like the Doctor has to defend the last of the humans against the march of these Cybermen, and the Cybermen like pick them off one by one and convert them off screen.
Yeah.
And they bring them back, and they've changed.
I'd love to see a story that starts out with like, oh, we've got 7 human survivors, and there's one Cyberman going around, and then as the story progresses, there's 6 survivors and 2 Cybermen, and 5 survivors and 3 Cybermen, and oh, now there's only 4 survivors. And there are 4 Cybermen,
Yeah, see, that's creepy. That uses the idea of the Cybermen, but here they're just generic robot.
You don't even see the conversion. You just see like, oh, where's Callum gone? And then another Cyberman walks out. Yeah. Hey to anyone called Callum in the chat, you're a Cyberman now.
Yeah, that would have been great. Doesn't do it though, does it?
No. It does a lot of stuff really stupidly.
Really wrong.
Yeah.
I just think when Doctor Who treats the Cybermen as generic robot people, I just think that whoever's writing this has missed the point of the Cybermen.
I mean, it's like, it's fine to do them as generic robot people occasionally, because they would do conquest and stuff. And
exactly, conquest, and sometimes it gets it right. Like Earthshock does get it right.
Earthshock is fucking great.
Yeah, so
Let's just watch Earthshock.
Yeah, that's a Cyberman Type 2 story done really, really right. It's just I'm less enthusiastic when I can see a story coming that's going to be a Cyberman Type 2 story, because I just think these things are ripe for body horror, and yet a lot of the time that just sort of gets ignored.
Well, it's like, I don't think they want to do body horror in Doctor Who. It's like the thing that we were talking about a week ago. Where they will make all the deaths as silly as possible, to avoid like
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
actually
it's
doing stuff that's dangerous.
yeah, it's only really World Enough in Time that really does the body horror stuff with the Cybermen on screen,
And Rise of the Cybermen.
and Rise of the Cybermen, which I get kind of annoyed when people slag off Rise of the Cybermen because it's just like it's doing its job.
And
It's not
Cyberwoman.
uh, yeah, true. Yeah, no, but just with Rise of the Cybermen, it's like it's not doing its job brilliantly, but it's doing its job.
But Stu, what if the Cybermen were sexy?
What did the Cybermen? What if Benny turns out to be a Cyberman? What if Benny is the lone Cyberman?
Benny is the master.
Yeah, Benny is the master,
The
and the
master is the Rani.
or Brendan is the War Rani.
The lone Cyberman is Mel.
No, wait, yeah, I mean, Brendan is probably the lone Cyberman, isn't he? Actually,
Okay, so we start out the story, and we've got our crew. They arrive in the future, and it's the cyber war. And the Doctor is talking about how there's like no humans left at all, and this is the last. Like, so these people are the last survivors, and there are 7 of them, and this half of the universe, right? And then they start like setting up defenses for them because they know the Cybermen are coming. First of all, it's not even clear like what the stakes are, or how they need to come here, or what is this they're doing, or like what is even going on. Why are they doing this?
which is kind of like basic story
Yeah.
101 stuff, where it's like you introduce your audience to what you're actually doing this week.
And then they start talking to the locals who like their dialogue is just awful. I mean, there's one point where it's all in like it's in Chibber's TM one-liners instead of humans talking.
We are angry in this conversation. We're angry about a thing.
So the kind of the guy who says my dad taught me how to destroy cyber chips and hijack them and stuff.
Here is my backstory.
I was 4, and they go, and then like he says it like it's dramatic. When if he had been raised in a war, he wouldn't know that was dramatic. He'd just be like, yeah, that's normal. Like the horror from that situation shouldn't be the guy who was been like in a war zone since he was a kid going, yeah, I was 4 when I was learning this stuff. It would be him going, yeah, when I was a kid, I hijacked cyber chips. What did you do? Like that's what would make it shocking because he thinks it's normal.
Yeah, and it's just the way he sort of dumps it into the conversation.
Yeah, and then the reactions to it, you're like, you already get it because he said it so explicitly. He goes,
It's like Chris
I was
Chibnall has
4, and
Chris
then
Chibnall has
so, then the Doctor goes, yeah, born in a war zone, and you're like, yeah, I get it. And then Ryan goes, so this is the only thing you've ever known. And you're like, yep, I get it. I know what's happening. It's war bad.
It's not very. It's just not very. It's just not very organic. And I think Chris Chibnall has been in the industry and been a writer for quite a long time. He should know better than this.
He really should. It's almost
it's
like it's almost like he doesn't care rather than he can't.
It's like it reminds me of I wrote this sketch ages ago for a video which I never actually ended up finishing. I wrote this sketch which was like a little story. I called it the least specific story ever told, and it's literally like circles with eyes, and it's like a blob, and it said once upon a time there was a character called Character 1, and his friend was Character 2, and they did things together, and it's like just a generic story with everything specific taken out of it whatsoever. And it's like Chris is literally just doing that.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
my name is Character. This is my characteristic. This
My
is
brother
what my
is
backstory
mute.
is. Yeah, exactly.
And like,
Hello, my name is Villain. I am here to do bad things.
I am the lone Cyberman. And then, okay, so the lone Cyberman, right? Not as effectively done in this one. You've got.
I think part of that might be because the lighting.
I meant like writing wise.
Well, in writing as well, but also in the lighting, he's just sort of less intimidating.
He is, yeah. He's less intimidating in this.
Now that you can actually like
visually.
see him. Now you actually like see him in the daylight.
But there is in the lone Cyberman in this one, we explore that he is he's angry, right? But the fact of the matter is, he is a Cyberman and he wants to be a Cyberman actively. And Cybermen don't feel emotions, so the fact that he feels anger is going to be driving more anger, right? And you know how they communicate that to the audience?
Hello, I am angry.
That you know how that's incorporated into the story? Well, he's just angry all the time, and the Doctor says, "You're angry because Cybermen they don't feel anger, so that anger is going to be making you more angry." And you're like, "Wow, that would be real. That's a really cool motivation. It would be great if it was in the story."
Instead of people just sort of describing it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yay!
Does he want to be writing Target novelizations?
I am sure that's a good joke, but I don't get the reference. I'm sorry.
No, it's the Target. It's a book company that writes novelizations of all the Doctor Who books,
All right.
all the Doctor Who episodes. I'm way too into it. Yeah, but it's just so basic.
I think Chibs should be writing pitches at that point, like the pieces of dialogue that he uses to communicate his concepts to the actual audience would be a great springboard to write an actual story from, like a Cyberman that wanted to be converted but still feels angry. Like that's gonna be like you get some great character motivations out of that, and then he just doesn't.
But it's placeholder text that's just been stuck
Yeah,
up on the screen.
it
Yeah.
is. Okay, but we go. Okay, so we go from. They set up all the defenses for the settlement after we get some crapped out. Oh yeah, right, okay. More crap dialogue. I mean, all the dialogue is crap, but specifically this one stood out to me. The guy, one of the refugees, is saying, "Yeah, we're not soldiers here. We're just refugees. We've all like so many people have been killed, and we're just stranded here trying to survive, and no one cares." I'm like, aren't you the only survivors? Who is there to care?
Yeah.
Who? Why are you mad that no one cares? They're dead, or Cybermen.
Yeah, it's like the context has been stripped out. That's just okay. So these are refugees that are in the midst of this cyber war. How would they react to that?
They're annoyed
But
that no one cares.
it's
Plus,
that's the thing. Refugees in the midst of this cyber war. How would they react to that? Annoyed that no one cares. But then you add the bit that says they're the last humans. There's no one left to care.
yeah. It's like have one bit of that
It's like the
one of those bits
context
of
is
dialogue or the others or the other.
there's no one left to care. That's the bit that's missing from that characterization.
And can we talk about like the Doctor is kind of crap at this again? So one of her first lines is to go, "Oh, by the way, the Cybermen wiped out all of humanity. Oh, sorry, that's a bad thing to break to you. Oops, my bad."
Yeah. It's like she's
I would. I would have one of the characters just fully break down in a panic attack at that point, and have Jodie's
because
Doctor that Chris has written completely
what
incapable of dealing with it.
because that's what you would do in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. You would just go like you know what they do? They like pull a concerned face each, and they're like, "Oh well, time to get on with what we're doing, I guess." Is it imagine right? I have probably accepted that humanity probably not going to last forever. Probably not going to outlive the universe. Probably going to all be wiped out at some point. If I find out it's wiped out to like zombies that cut you up and stitch you together as like a hollow shell of what you once were, I would be like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I would actually watch that as an episode where the Doctor takes them into the future, makes that admission, and then one of the companions just has a serious mental breakdown, and the episode devolves into that.
Yeah, I would watch that. I would want. That's almost the thing that you just want to happen. Just be like, yeah, Chris, come on, this is what would happen.
And then the Doctor takes them back to the TARDIS, and then the rest of the episode is just about that.
They get converted so that we don't have to deal with it.
Yeah. Instead of all this stuff with Brendan.
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 Benny.
Like, as I was watching it and trying to think what the fuck is going on with this whole Brendan thing, and the bit at the end where they put the headphones on his head and he starts screaming, I just kept on thinking, is this supposed to be like a metaphor for the Cybermen, for cyber conversion? Like, you take this little kid and you make him a police officer.
Should we do an episode of Prediction Corner?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. I mean, I was thinking, is this going to be is this like a metaphor? But Chris is clearly not that subtle.
Well, there's a few options, right? It's this is like the Lone Cyberman's backstory.
Yeah,
Right.
that well,
That's the
I mean,
obvious one.
that's the obvious one. Yeah.
He's the master or something else to do with Gallifrey. He's like Rassilon or someone. That's another obvious one.
Or he's got. Do you know what? I would, I would love it and retroactively praise this episode a lot in hindsight. If in the next episode, Brendan is not in it, there's no mention of him whatsoever, and it just doesn't get resolved, and it was just that.
I would love that. I would love that. I would love that to just be unresolved forever. He's a timeless child. He's the timeless child or a timeless child.
Oh, sorry. I've just realised because we're doing prediction corner. Should I start humming the music? I can't
Oh,
remember how the music
I
goes.
can't remember how the music goes. You can do the Welcome to Prediction Corner.
Prediction Corner, the section of the show where we try and predict what'll happen in future episodes.
Awesome.
Okay, so yeah, Brendan is the War Rani.
The Vervoids
I
are
start.
back.
I started doing that because I got bored with the episode when I was doing my tweet along. I just started tweeting shit like, it turns out Ireland is Gallifrey. Graham is the cyber controller.
Graham getting converted into a Cyberman would be such a ballsy move.
Yeah, I'd actually love that. They should do that.
And no,
They probably
no
haven't,
fixing it
but-
this time. The most ballsy thing to do with a companion is that they get converted into a Cyberman, and rather than getting rescued, they immediately get like lost in with the horde. So you just don't know which one they are, and you never find out. You just don't know what happened to the Cyberman they were turned into.
I would love that. That'd be actually horrifying and use the concept properly.
It would. Like the whole there was something that kind of disappointed me in Rise of the Cybermen, and I get why they did it the way they did it. They did it fine the way they did it. But you could almost say they did it okay the way they did it. Am I getting the reference right, chat? Tell me. But it's when John Lumic gets converted, and the Cybermen tell the Doctor, like the Doctor's asking after John Lumic, and the Cybermen say he has been upgraded, and the Doctor says, so he's just like you, you know. And I'm thinking, wow, that's so cool. He's just like another one now, and he's like, that's it, you know. He's just another cog in their machine now. And it really says something about how they work. That now, and it's like, no, he's the big daddy. He's been made into the cyber controller. He's got a big throne and his brain hanging out. You know, I think the other one is much more
Yeah,
thematically pertinent.
Yeah, it kind of dampens it. Yeah.
And I like that angle with the Cybermen, that they, the whole point of them is that they stifle individuality.
Yeah, and like I said, that would have been such a much better use of them if the episode had been, okay, there's 7 humans left, and we like pick them off one by one.
And it's poetic justice for John Lumic as well, because he wanted to become a Cyberman, and then he gets that whole drive stifled by the Cybermen that he created. I actually prefer that ending now. I go back on me saying that they did it, like the way they did it was good too. It's bad. It's bad in comparison.
Make that your headcanon.
It's my headcanon now. I get to do that because this is a show with no real canon.
Yeah, but I kept on doing that. I kept on making stupid predictions because I got bored of the episodes.
But for the
got bored of the episode.
Mel is the 6th Doctor.
We are all the Crotons. My favorite one that got tweeted of those that got
the real Crotons were you all along.
Yeah, my favorite ones that got sent to me were Yaz is the Candyman.
Oh, what's that? I swear I've seen someone like suggest that somewhere. That might have been us in a previous episode of this.
Oh, and my favorite one, sent to me by Vaiku the Railway Cat. Maybe the real macra were the crabs we got along the way.
I saw that. I like that quote.
That is that is my favorite one.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. But is it a chameleon arch? Are they connecting him to
It
a chameleon
looked
arch?
like a chameleon arch. It
I
looked
mean,
a
I
lot
mean
like one.
that squares with. I mean, that squares with Ruth Doctor.
Yeah, so is this another
Is
one of the
Brent?
hidden doctors? That could be it.
Yeah. Is Brendan another hidden Doctor?
Oh god, Brendan grew up from a baby. Brendan could be the original doctor.
That's true. Yes, but is the Doctor supposed to be invincible? Can the Doctor fall off a cliff and then survive?
No, this is the way
Is
they
he
did the
Jack?
immortality was very Jack. It was like the sudden intake of breath after he wakes up. It's like, oh, that's how Jack wakes up after he dies. It was very Jack. But
Are
like,
we
how
even
could it be connected to Jack?
That's the thing. Are we even going to find out who Brendan is in this series? Because I saw an article from Radio Times which really pissed me off, which was a quote from Chibnall saying that the series 12 finale sets up sets up future mysteries for series 13, and I just thought Moffat.
Yeah, it is very Moffat.
Yeah, that's totally Moffat. That's what he's doing now.
Well, I think there's two ways to interpret that. Is that either no, it's just it leaves all the mysteries we currently have, and that's it. And it's just like it's the, it's the I'll answer it later style of writing, or the good thing to do would be answer the mysteries we currently have, and then also set up new ones. You know.
Yeah, but the way that that's phrased, and the fact that Series 12 has reminded me quite a lot of Moffat style.
Yeah, we're not going to get answers to everything, are we?
No, and it's gonna fucking piss me off quite a lot, isn't it?
My genuine call though is that Brendan is a timeless child, not the timeless child that we've been seeing because she's black and a lady. Although
Yeah,
regeneration is a thing.
That and the final episode is called "The Timeless Children," so
Yeah.
there's going to be more than one. Yeah, because
Unless that's a metaphor.
yeah, unless it's a metaphor. Yeah, my wanky pretentious theory. But yeah, you posted something on JXE Lord of Milk the other day that says finally a Doctor Who meme that accurately represents my feelings. The one where it's that clip from Day of the Doctor where John Hurt's leading Rose out the door, and then he looks back and she's already back in the room. But the first Rose has Stephen Moffat's name on the face, and then the second Rose has Chris Chibnall's name on the face. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm trapped in a loop again.
Yeah, it is. It's very much that.
This finale. This
I'll say-
finale is now going to be just purely set up for Series 13. I'm going to be waiting around for Series 13. I'm going to get totally bored, and then by the end of Series 13, it will be more set up for Series 14, and I'm just going to be like seeing this endless wave of nostalgia baiting and setups in the future, and I'm just going to get. It's like I'm already deflated. It's like the series has already ended. Just been thinking, I was happy for a while, and now it's gone.
I do prefer Moffat to Chibnall because he can do
Yes,
dialogue.
totally.
You
Yeah,
know?
yes, totally.
Yeah.
I prefer him quite a lot to Chris Chibnall because he did bombastic, stupid things occasionally, which actually got me invested and wanting to make videos.
So, okay, so we've got the Cybermen then arrive at the camp, right? Let's do the thing. Let's do the
Oh
thing.
god, we haven't even talked about the cyberheads, have we?
No, we've not. I think I've got a picture of one of those somewhere.
Oh my god, yeah, chuck those up on screen.
Have I got it? Wait, where is it? I don't think. Oh god, I can't find the picture. Have I not got one?
Oh no, everyone could use a laugh.
Wait, I'm just quickly scrolling through all the pictures I have loaded up. No. Oh, no, that's just blank. No. And I actually don't have it. Fuck.
Oh no. Okay, everyone who's watching this right now, just go to Google and type in cyberheads.
I'll quickly grab it. I'll find it. I tweeted about it at the time. I tweeted a picture of it with in quotation
made me
marks.
burst out laughing.
The Cybermen need to be sillier. We need to make the Cybermen sillier.
It's like you follow that incredibly creepy, like gothic horror episode with a Cyberman that's rusted and with parts of its face missing, and it's being so beautifully intimidating. And then you follow that with a fleet of cyberheads flying over the trees and shooting lasers out of their eyes.
The thing is, they are really creepy, but okay, they're not in a creepy context. They're flying around shooting lasers out of their eyes. You know, that's not creepy. That's not a creepy thing to do.
Please justify the idea that they're really creepy. Go on.
Well, they're disembodied heads with glowing eyes. Like
That's true, but
they
they
are
look like
aesthetically
children.
creepy.
They look like children's toys.
Well, there'll be children's toys soon.
Well, they definitely will be children's toys soon. Yeah, but that was the immediate thing I thought. They look flying over the forest and shooting lasers out of the.
You can get one yourself by breaking a pre-existing Cyberman figure and painting its eyes blue.
Carving its head off. And I'm seeing if it comes up when you Google it.
I've put it on screen.
Oh, because I'm still seeing Brendan, the most interesting character ever written.
I love Brendan. Brendan Fraser. That's the twist. He's Brendan Fraser.
He's Brendan Fraser.
No one will see that coming.
Is Brendan Fraser the only famous Brendan? I can't think of any other Brendan.
Well, let's find out. Brendan.
Famous Brendans. Let's talk about
There
that.
are no suggestions.
It's much more interesting than the episode.
Brendan Urie. I don't know who that is.
The name rings a bell.
Brendan Burchard.
Someone called Brendan Malone.
Brendan Studd. That's it.
Brendan Gleeson.
I don't know who that is.
He was in Bruges.
Ah, I was in Harry Potter. He was. He was Mad Eye Moody.
Everyone watching this, just look up famous Brendans.
Or even not, if you just know someone called Brendan.
Yeah, and let's all talk about that instead of this episode.
Hitler's middle name was actually Brendan.
Adolf Brendan Hitler. Yeah.
So the Cyberheads arrive. You know what would have been?
Cyberheads arrive.
You know what would have made the Cyberheads better if they were just drones?
Yeah, if they were just drones. Yeah.
Or if they were just Cybermen attacking, that would have been pretty cool, huh? Or
Yeah,
if they
on the
used the
ground.
fighter ships that they arrived in to do it.
Yeah, like what the ship's for.
I guess they're for ship-to-ship combat, but
Yeah, and when the cyber ships arrived, I was expecting some sort of like panic, but it was just sort of like, oh, they've arrived. We've got a few minutes before they get off their ships.
yeah, that'll take a while.
That'll take a while.
Before two ships transport 3 Cybermen to the location. That's a Cyberman and a half per ship.
Oh, it's just like I kind of see what they were trying to do. Like give this feel that like the Cybermen have conquered the cosmos. There are only a few humans left. The Cybermen are like this big amorphous force.
But then they're trying to make it seem like it's the last Cybermen as well, aren't they? That was the thing.
Yeah, that as well with the lone Cybermen and the Cybermen that you see in this episode are all like rusted and horrible.
But okay, right. Listen here, right. The Cybermen arrive in 2 ships. Each ship we clearly see needs 3 Cybermen to crew it, right? The 3, because there's the 2 pilot positions and there's a captain position in each ship. 3 Cybermen get out of 1 ship, right? And that's all the Cybermen that were brought. And they start attacking the humans and the crew and the doctor, right? Then so why were there 2 ships? Well, there were 2 ships so that the Doctor and co could steal one, which was remarkably uncrewed because it was literally arrived empty so that they could steal it. It's just like we need a ship to be there so that our crew can steal it. Okay, there just was one. It would literally be better writing if they wrote, there was a ship up there that no one noticed until now.
We need to get off this planet and we need a ship. Look, there's one.
It's like, it's the whole, we need to steal a Cyberman ship, but surely there would be Cybermen in a Cyberman ship. Oh, but here's the thing. There aren't. Oh, good!
Yay!
This is what we call a nitpick. No, this is what the internet likes to call a nitpick when they're trying to compare you to CinemaSins because you're talking about plot holes.
What it's actually called is crap.
It is crap. It is crap. It's like, plot holes can be small, but this isn't, though.
I like that most of the chat has just evolved into naming famous Brendans.
Well, how many are there?
Apparently the scientist in Fringe was called Brendan.
Oh, there was another really crap bit of writing as well, where they said, we can't get back to the TARDIS, it's too far. And I'm like, okay. Like, why? Like, you're running away anyway.
How did you get here then?
Yeah, okay, so we're running...
We can't go to the TARDIS, but we can hijack... Far and my legs hurt.
We can hijack the Cyberman ship. Like, what?
We can't walk back to the TARDIS.
It's just... Oh, okay, I guess you can't get back to the TARDIS because the plot needs you to not get back to the TARDIS.
Doesn't the Doctor have some sort of homing feature on a sonic screwdriver? Hasn't that happened in the past?
If that existed, there were so many situations where they should use it and don't. Sorry, am I cutting out there?
No, I think it was me that was cutting out.
No, I was looking at my green circle and I'm concerned that I'm not picking up all my audio.
Oh, I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, excellent. Why is it the cyber ship in Silver Nemesis 100 times better than this generic ship? I don't remember the cyber ship in Silver Nemesis. Let me look it up.
Silver Nemesis was also quite bad, though.
It's not great. It's just Remembrance, but with Cybermen.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I was like, am I confusing it with Nightmare and Silver? And then I remembered, no, I was getting them the right way around.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, sorry, you cut out there.
I knew it! Yeah, I like the 7th Doctor era ship design. It looks good. Well, that's sort of off. That's, that's 30 odd years ago.
Yeah, but so they need to get on a cyber ship, so then they can go to this other bigger cyber ship with old Cybermen on it. Do you remember old things?
No, those are new Cybermen.
The old new Cybermen.
But
they look like they're from Earthshot.
Yeah, they are kind of like the updated square head design. So it's like, well, have you noticed that a lot of, okay, so we did, New Who's had 3 distinct eras of aesthetic, where it was, first of all, let's do a new, reestablish it as new, So that was when it came back in 2005, every design was updated. You got the new series Daleks, you got the very noughties Cybermen that literally had flares, everything looked like it had been designed in the noughties because it had. You went to the year 200,000 and people had like surfer spiked hair. It was just the noughties in space. It does look
quite dated now. I have watched back some old episodes recently.
And it is everything is, that's the Lumix Cybermen, very noughties design. Everything was redesigned to look like the noughties and updated to be modern. Then, in Matt Smith Capaldi era, they brought back some 60s stuff. So they brought back like the more original TARDIS exterior. They brought back some more retro looking Cybermen with
they did the 10th planetish ones in World Nothing Time.
And they look like they have the round heads. They look very 60s Cybermen. And they also they bring back the Daleks. The new Daleks were supposed to look like the original movie Daleks, which were from the 60s as well. So the second phase was bringing back the 60s. The third phase is bringing back the 80s. They've redesigned the TARDIS. So they've brought back a lot of things from the 80s. They've brought back the TARDIS, having like the black panel on it instead of the white panels. They've brought back a more 80s Cyberman design with the square head, and they've brought back making the show not very good. All of that, everything I just said was set up for that joke. Everything I just said was set up to make that joke. I knew exactly where I was going as soon as I started that long ass thing.
It wouldn't be Doctor Who if it wasn't bad.
That's true. Well, it's not, but
the only thing they haven't brought back though is the Rani.
Yeah, and she was from the 80s.
Yeah, she was from the 80s. That makes sense. Come on, Chibnall.
Do it. Let's poke him with a stick until he brings back the Rani.
Okay, I'm gonna lay down the say if the Rani is not series 18, I'm going to join the cancel Doctor Who brigade.
Well, it's like have you seen the Sarah Jane Adventures?
I remember watching some of it.
My favorite twist for Doctor Who to do ever would be, and it would be perfect because it would be so stupid, is Rani is the Rani. That's what I want. That's what I want to happen. Rani, was secretly the Rani this whole time.
Just a big dialogue with the fans who've made that into a meme.
I'm surprised that's not been memed hard yet. Okay, where are we in this episode? In the episode, they're stealing ships. They're stealing ships to escape.
Yes.
So the Doctor and Ryan manage to go on one ship, and they get separated from Yaz and Graham, who go with the survivors in their ship, which is now working for reasons. Do you remember that? What? Do you remember why it was working? Because I don't.
No clue.
So the beginning, they're still there because they couldn't get their ship to work, and that's the whole thing. That's the setup. But then, when they need it, it works. Right.
Because the script required it.
Because the script required it.
Yeah.
So then we need to get
from A to B.
Then we get with Jodie and Ryan. We get the dialogue about the guy being in a war zone since he was 4. And we get a conversation with we haven't put all this dialogue actually already. We get the conversation between Jodie and the lone Cyberman, where she just says to him what his motivations are, and that's it, sort of. And that's that's all. That's how we go into his motivations in the story. Jodie tells him what they are.
Yeah, and we get that really crap scene where it's like we're on a ship with a Cyberman that makes other Cybermen scream.
That's not yet. We'll get to that. But this is crap. This is really crap. That's like the crappiest moment of the thing.
Yeah, because it's like, what does that even mean?
Scary. It means scary.
Blah. That means it's a scary Cyberman. What it does, I've not got no fucking clue.
But we've got Ryan on the cyber ship. We've got the Doctor on the cyber ship, and then we've got Graham and Yaz with the survivors in their weird ass ship that you have to stand on a little stool and look out a window to see where you're going.
Yeah.
So they believe that they're adrift and they're gonna die, right? Like that's the thing. In a Superior season, we would have got them actually talk and reflect. Like, remember 42, which was written by Chris Chibnall?
Oh yeah, when Martha and what's his name are in the pod.
Yeah, and they just have a heart-to-heart conversation because they think they're gonna die.
Yeah.
So we have characters in the same situation in this story, but it's all just plot. There's no character. That's all like, oh, something's happened. Oh, something else has happened. Oh, we're fine.
Yeah, it's strange to watch Chris just do plot and nothing else.
Well, he's not written character for like 2 series now. Like, barely any of it. Like,
yeah, I mean, there have been some character scenes, but it's
like, really, what my reaction to that is, please, sir, can I have some more?
Yeah, but they haven't really been, because like there was the Yaz stuff in Can You Hear Me, which I'm going to of that episode because it's impossible for me to. The Yaz character stuff from Can You Hear Me, which I'm going to attribute to the other writer of that episode because it's impossible to attribute anything good to Chris Chibnall.
Was the Yaz stuff? I didn't think was that great. And Can You Hear Me?
Well, it was trying.
It was trying.
It was trying. It was really trying. Oh yeah, that and there is some character stuff in this with Brendan, whoever the fuck
Some
that
of
is.
the best characters she gets is in the last one, and where she actually just acts like a person. You know, she acts like she understands people. That seems to be her thing in that one, and she acts like a human being. She gives like
Yeah,
advice
sure.
on relationships and stuff, and she says that one of the rules is no snogging Byron, which is another great bit of comedy.
Oh yeah. Can I just read out a joke from the chat? They've started just telling jokes. Does a pregnant Cyberman just say processing for 9 months?
That's a good joke.
I like that one. Thank you, Goose. When Cybermen have sex, do they say input, input, input?
Input, output, input, output.
Sorry, I was just enjoying the chat there.
I'm trying to think of a good site. Oh my god, they have cyber sex, of course. Hey, what a cyber. That's what the 90s was like, guys. I wasn't there, I wouldn't know. Well, I was, but I was a bit too young to be sexually active.
Oh,
I was born in 99.
I like this. I like this joke. Why was 9 afraid of 8? Because McGannon hurt Eccleston.
I, I, I'm slightly annoyed because I posted that joke to like Doctor Humor in like
Oh,
2013.
oh, is that one of yours? Oh, okay.
No, well, that's the thing. It's like it's kind of an obvious joke. But it's not so obvious that it's
Yeah,
not funny.
it's kind of
But
yeah,
it's like
it's kind of something that you can imagine people
there's
arriving at
it's a good
separately.
joke. It's a good. I say it's a good joke because I made it. Not to toot my own horn, but that joke I made way
Claim,
before you was
claim,
amazing.
claiming it, yeah. Yeah, Defrosted Robot, that joke has been around for a while. Yeah, I don't know. I found it funny and I hadn't heard that one before.
It's a good one.
Anyway, where were we?
We were on the ships. We were with Yaz and Graham not talking about it. So Yaz and Graham are stranded together. What is the relationship between those two characters that we've now spent 2 series of television with? What is their relationship? How do they feel about each other? Do they get on?
They think the other one is good.
Yes. Have they
There was
spoken directly to each other before?
there was that conversation in Demons of the Punjab where Yaz is finding out that there's this bit of her own family's history that is completely new to her, and it's sort of thrown her and changed her perspective. And Graham says something comforting to her.
That's good. I like it.
That's all. That's the only thing I can think of.
Can chat. What is a time when Graham says something to Yaz that is beyond like functional? Like, oh, the thing that you need is over there. You know, like something that has a direct function and nothing more to it.
Yeah,
What is something they say to each other?
That's the one thing I can think of. Because pretty much all of the characterization that Graham got last year was in the last season was to do with his relationship with Ryan,
Yeah.
and all of the characterization that Yaz got in series 11 was nothing.
Yeah, she sometimes said things when the plot needed her to for the plot. She asked questions so that the Doctor could answer them. That's the joke companion role, but it's what she actually was.
Yeah, yeah. I can't really think of anything.
No, yeah, but yeah, it's just sort of embarrassing that they've got to this point with basically nothing to show for that, like what should be like one of the main on-screen relationships. Well,
Yeah,
not the main ones, you know. It's two characters who I guess they should have something between them. You know, they've been on loads of adventures together. They share this fairly unique experience together, and they've been doing so for like years now.
Yeah, but it's just sort of like you don't know you don't really feel how these characters connect.
Yeah, well, that's because they've never shown it, really.
Yeah, apart from like that one episode.
Person saying you're late in chat, it's okay. You can scroll back or watch the archives, or we're just halfway through the episode and you can do it out of order. It's okay. There's not deep lore. Well, there is. Boobs.
Yeah.
So then they start hearing some clashes against the ship. And Yaz looks out the window and there's loads of dead Cyberman bits. For some reason. The battle that happened in space, I guess, caused just loads of broken up Cybermen.
Maybe they were the cyber drones.
No, they were like arms and legs and stuff.
They were like arms and legs and stuff. Yeah.
Maybe they were like flying Cybermen from what Dark
Yeah,
War
because
said.
they flew, didn't they?
Yeah, that was really stupid and I hated it.
Yeah, same.
I miss the Cybermen just being like having foil as their bodies. Like that would look good with high production value. They don't need to be armor.
Yeah, I mean the stylistic choice in this one is to have them all rusty and with bits missing and a bit grimy.
Yeah, which
I
works.
quite like.
We've got okay. What we got? What? Hang on. What? Hang on. What was we saying? Oh yeah. So they arrive at a big ship that's been abandoned, right? And it's they get on it and they're like, oh, we can take this to the place that we want to go. What do they call it? Like Sultanas? What's the guys?
Oh, yeah, the planet with the one guy on it with the boundary and everything.
Yeah, when you
was
said
all
it,
that
made it
shit?
sound like the boundary was just like his personal bubble. It's like don't cross the boundary, guys. You can't crossing my personal boundary here.
Yeah, it's like I only watched this fucking thing on Monday and I barely remember a single thing that happened in it.
Koshamas? Is he called Koshamas?
I think it was called Kashamas, yeah.
Okay, so they're like, okay, we can use this ship to get to Koshamas, which is the place they want to go. They board it. They start powering up the systems, and there's some like really obvious dialogue in there where one of them goes, "Ah, yes, this ship is a war carrier," and one of them goes, "It's like Graham says to Yaz, a war carrier." You think what I'm thinking is Yaz like, yeah. What was it carrying? I'm like, obviously war. It's a war carrier. It's carrying war. No, obviously a bunch of Cybermen. Like, what else? You just explicitly, it's essentially going, hey audience, the ship is full of Cybermen, but I want it to be a surprise. Can you pretend that you're surprised when it's revealed?
It's full of the villains in this episode, and you see all those lines of like pods that the Cybermen are going to come out of, and they're going to do, they're going to do a Tomb of the Cybermen thing, where it's like the Cybermen coming out from hibernation. Because remember it.
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember it?
I do. They should have been breaking out of cling film though, or plastic bags.
Yeah, that's true. Instead of sort of like these plastic coffins.
But they what they do is that when they're powering up the ship, they accidentally wake up all of the like legions of Cybermen. They have like these big lines of like, "Oh my god, there are so many Cybermen," and it's like, yeah, it'd be threatening if there were like 3, but it's fine. I guess they get to say that there are a lot of them, but they could just show that there are a lot of them, and because they literally go, there's literally a line to go, how many are there? We see a lot of them. You don't need to go. It's another. I don't know. I guess it is logical that the characters will try to figure out how many there are, but it just feels like another of those very specific. We need to tell the audience how scary the situation is.
Yeah, and they could have played that as a joke.
I have a positive thing to say about the episode now.
Okay, go on then.
This is something that New Who gets wrong a lot, and they got right here. They have a new Cyberman design, and they didn't just replace all of the current Cybermen with the new design, and then use it from this point onwards as the only Cyberman design.
That's true.
They used them to show like actual stuff about where they come from, as would make sense. So I'm gonna come up with my example of it being done wrong. Is the NSDs when they were made, the new series Daleks, the Time War Daleks, the bronze Daleks were just used for the whole new series, regardless of which like Daleks they were, where they were from, where it fitted into the timeline.
Yeah,
Ideally, it should be used as like a very clear device to show, okay, if it's grey, it's a pre-Time War Dalek. If it's the bronze, like more metallic design, it's a Time War Dalek. Obvious world building, but they never used it like that. They're just like, this is what the Daleks look like now, even if they're old ones.
Yeah, like in Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar, they just sort of like chucked a bunch of different Dalek designs into Skaro.
Yeah, and then when they do want to use the classic Daleks, they don't use them for world building. They don't use them to go, these are pre-Time War Daleks, or these are Imperial Daleks. They use them to go, they're here. And this gets most egregious in Asylum. This is most egregious in Asylum of the Daleks, where they literally name drop old Doctor Who stories and show, right, and they have classic Daleks in the background of that episode. They name drop old Doctor Who stories and are like, these are the Daleks from those stories, and they're here now, because the Doctor drove them insane, which is a bit wank, but let's go with it. But those are all new series Daleks, even though they're explicitly said to be the classic series ones. Like at that point, it's not that they're not doing world building. They're explicitly contradicting the old lore, even though they have old Daleks on the screen. It's really confusing why they made that decision.
Yeah, it's Asylum of the Daleks is like this black hole of despair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to block it out. It was the first video. It was the first He Who Moans video that I.
Is it the one that inspired you to do it?
Yeah, I just watched it and I was just like, what is happening to this show?
So, in the critique I'm currently working of the Chibnall era, I had a section originally called Chibnall Doesn't Understand the Daleks, where I go through resolution. But I can't attribute that problem to him because he inherited it from Stephen Moffat. So now I have to put in a section detailing how Stephen Moffat fundamentally misunderstood the Daleks, so that I can then go, yeah, and he didn't make it better, but I can't blame him for the problem. He makes new mistakes, though.
That is true, yeah, and you're right you're right in saying that it's good that there's different types of Cybermen clashing, and you can see where each came from.
Yeah, so they actually use it as world building here. They've got these newly built Cybermen that are very clean and fresh, that have been stored and just kept fresh on this carrier. And you've got the old battered Cybermen that are the survivors of the war, and these ones never really got to fight. And they actually use the designs to world build, which is great. That's so good. It's been missing from Doctor Who for so long. It's a shame about the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it's weird thinking that there's something good in this episode.
How do you feel about the actual aesthetic of the new Cybermen?
I do really like them, yeah.
I mostly like them.
I mean, it's strange thinking that these Cybermen are quite battered by the war, when it's like the point of this episode is that humanity has been defeated and there's only 7 humans left.
Well, it's like it wiped out both the races as explicit in the beginning.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
but
I don't know. It's like both of them lost. But it's like the Cybermen aren't really this dominating force in this one.
There's one thing that I dislike about the new Cyberman design, and it really annoys me. It's not like it's a... Oh, it is a small thing, but it ruins the whole aesthetic for me. And that is that the little the indent they have for their face doesn't line up. It's angular while the rest of the thing is square, and I just don't like that. You've got you see the little lines next to the eyes.
Yeah.
They go at a slight angle while the head is square. No, I don't approve. That's very superficial. It is a nitpick, but it's it just ruins the aesthetic for me. All of aesthetics are kind of superficial.
Hmm.
But okay, what happens now? The Cybermen wake up. They're woken by the lone Cyberman, right? And it starts doing a weld, on one of the Cybermen. The lone Cyberman gets this welding gun it chokes one of the Cybermen that's waking up and starts like welding it, and it starts screaming, right? Which is pretty creepy. And then we get that crap bit of dialogue that we've already talked about, where one of the characters goes, "Oh my god, this is a Cyberman that makes other Cybermen scream." And you're like, yes, Chris, I am watching the episode. Oh, hang on, I pulled my headphones out. Sorry, continue.
That is the thing that's happening on screen.
It is.
Hello, my name is Character. I am doing a thing that you can see on screen.
I am Jay.
Eyes? Do you have eyes in your face? Can you see this?
Did you also... Okay, there's another thing that I noticed which was a bit weird.
Please press enter to select audio navigation.
Oh, okay. So for the Cyberman welding the Cybermen, the lone Cyberman welding the other ones, why did it do that? Why?
I have no idea whatsoever.
What the fuck was it doing? It just goes up to them, tortures them for a little while, and then they're good.
To make it look creepy.
Yeah, it's like...
To do a creepy.
It could be justified in the next episode that he did some modification that's going to become relevant soon. Maybe. That's possible. But, well... I know, I don't have faith in them to do that. But if they do that, negate this criticism. Put this out of mind if that happens next week. But it's just like, yeah, it looks creepy because... It's just there because...
It looks creepy because, let's tell the audience, that is creepy.
I've seen a few people express the sentiment that it could have been like that's important for waking them up because they've been dormant for so long. Which, like, if they were only waking up 2 Cybermen, that would have been fine. Like, I would have made that assumption if only 2 woke up, and they woke up one by one as they did that to them. But no, like they all wake up. I guess only this one needed to be choked and welded. It's just the kind of thing that, yeah, the audience needs to understand. Donald J. Trump is in the chat. How you doing, man?
Please go away forever.
Oh, but what if he's a subscriber? You can't be rude to subscribers.
I'll be rude to the subscribers all I damn well like.
What would you do if you found out Donald Trump was subscribed to you?
I'd then start thinking I was doing something wrong. I need to change everything about my content.
Try to get him on a stream just to see what he'd say.
I don't know. Sometimes I just scroll through his Twitter feed and read the incoherent gibberish and just think, because I have had 2 ideas for stories since I started doing that, so obviously there's some inspiration there.
What's the chat? Help me out here. What's the Donald Trump quote where he like talks about? He says like, "In my great and endless wisdom," unironically, or something like that.
Oh, there was one tweet where he said about himself, "Such a great president, smart and handsome too." Like, he literally wrote those words, and I just imagined him, like, sort of sitting in his chair, rocking back and forth. It's like, Daddy loves you. You're a smart and handsome man.
That sounds like something that his mother would say to him.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, God. Let's stop talking about that cunt.
I agree.
Where were we?
We were talking about the lone Cyberman. Do you know he wears black nail polish?
Wait, what? Don't make me rewatch this episode, Jay.
So I didn't put the picture in the picture selection for the stream because I'm stupid.
Oh my god.
He's wearing black nail polish. It's a very small thing. It's like, why? What's that? What's with that? Why? Makeup department. Why did you make this decision? I want to see how the chat's reacting to this news. Wait, you keep an eye on the chat. I need to put the image in.
Cyberman wears black nail polish.
You keep an eye on the chat. I need to put this image on the stream.
Wait, yes, you do need to put this image on the stream because I'm still seeing Brendan. That's what she said.
Wait, you're still seeing Brendan? It should be the lone Cyberman with his welding tool. That's what I'm seeing.
No, I'm still seeing Brendan.
Is it paused for you? That's a possibility.
Oh, that's probably it. Yeah. Oh, it's paused for me. There we go. There we go. It explains that.
Right, hang on. Where
Hang on.
am I?
Whereabouts am I? I want to see this black nail polish.
Here it goes. It's about to go on screen now. There it is. Uh,
And it's not come up for me yet. I'll just wait until it. Oh
so,
my God, you're right. Are they trying to make it look like his fingernails are rotting and coming
yeah,
off?
I think they're trying to make it look
Maybe
like the
that's what they're
fingernails
trying
are
to
rotting
do.
and coming off. My assumption is, I mean, this is my best guess is for what happened behind the scenes. They're like, okay, let's make his fingernails look dead and rotting, right? And then they did like maybe they pitched some like actual good effect that looked like rotting fingernails, and they're like, oh, that's too graphic for this. So instead, they went, okay, we'll do the next best thing and just paint them black. Like, you know. But he just looks like a goth.
Oh dear. Oh.
Okay, Zach, that's too many penis emojis in the chat. I'm afraid you're in timeout. You know, people know not to spam. You don't get warnings. It's just timeout. There we go. Was Zach the same person who was like spamming stuff in the chat last time?
I can't remember. Oh, someone just said it could be a lack of vitamin B12. Yeah, I'm going to say that. Yeah, the lone Cyberman is deficient in vitamin B12.
I hate it when I'm deficient in vitamin B12.
Yeah, that's the explanation.
Does it actually just make your nails look dope? Is that the only thing it does?
Oh no, it's like one of the important vitamins that like if you're vegan, then the one of the important vitamins that you're missing is B12, so you have to take supplements.
So
That's what
but when you
that's
don't
what
get
I
enough
know
of it,
about B12.
when you don't get enough of it, does it just make your nails look dope?
No, it makes your head go weird. Apparently, I don't know. I don't know much about it. But yeah, apparently that's the only thing that you can't get from. That's the only thing that you can't get from plant-based products if you're vegan.
I never heard about that.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, he's the lone Cyberman man is deficient in B12.
Let's go with that. That's the canon now. He's a vegan.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So okay, we are to the point. Well, this episode is killing my brain. They're in the ship. They're marching around. They awaken the old cyber army, and Graham and Yaz are like, "Oh, it's okay. We'll take the ship to the Doctor full of Cybermen. She'll deal with it." And they set off to Koshamus, which is the safe haven free of Cybermen, in a ship full of like 1,000 Cybermen, because the Doctor will deal with it.
Oh.
Surely there should be like a character building moment where they decide to like, you know, my thought was like, okay, crash the ship into a sun or something, you know. You've got like the rest of the Cybermen on your ship now, including the lone Cyberman. The responsible thing, like you know, you're 3 people and they're a force that can wipe out humanity. Do the thing that you should probably do. That's what I'd do. I think.
Yeah, that would be a proper character building moment. Should we talk about this whole boundary thing now?
I want to complain about the characters. I was like, it's such a the show doesn't treat it as a shit decision to go and take the Cybermen to the Doctor so that she can deal with it. The show is just like, this is the decision the characters need to make so the plot can happen. So it just ignores it. Like it doesn't place moral judgment on them at all. It's like, this is the right decision.
It is a very stupid decision.
Now let's talk about the boundary.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So they get to Koshamus.
That's all I'm gonna say there. What the fuck?
They get to Koshamus, and he's just an old dude. He's not a planet. He's an old dude.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our own.
They've been talking about. Yes. Well, I was
You're
thinking more
only
Gandalf. But they arrived to Koshamus, and they've been talking about.
Well, he looks more like Gandalf, but it's him being a hermit.
I guess. They've been talking about the whole time. Will we get to Koshamas? Will we get to cross the boundary? Now, I already predicted exactly what the boundary was going to be and where it was going to go. Because, like, we've had it set up. Gallifrey is already very clearly going to be involved in some way in the finale here. But I am concerned, by the way. Actually, I'll get to that in a minute. But they get to the boundary, and this is how the episode ends. The Doctor and Graham get to the boundary, and Koshamas opens it up, and it's Gallifrey on the other side. And it's destroyed, because the Master destroyed it at the beginning of the season, and Koshamas says, "Oh, it's never looked like that before." And then the Cyberman jumps out of the boundary. No, that's the wrong picture. The Cyberman jumps out of the boundary and is like, and he does it. This isn't like moderately acceptable Spyfall Part 2 Cyberman Master. This is awful, just post reveal Part 1 Spyfall Master, where he's going, "Oh, what an entrance! Look at me, I'm the Master."
Spouting it. It was the spouting a obvious line to be used in a trailer that just turned me off. It was "Now, Doctor, everything you know is about to change forever."
Well, I don't think that was a trailer line. I think that was a Chibber's line.
Oh, that was a
It's telling
that was
the
a
audience.
teasing. That was a teasing line. That was a looking directly.
Yeah.
Going, yeah, finale next week.
It was telling the audience to be excited. Like, this is a Cyberman that makes other Cybermen scream. It's telling the audience to be scared. I was here since I was 4. What? You mean you're used to this? You were born in a war zone? You mean this is all you've ever known? Yep. That's telling the audience how to feel about that.
Hello, my name is Character. This is my characteristic.
And they also...
The plot we are doing
They played
this
his
week
music
is
from
this one.
Spyfall, which is just not good music. Like, well, it's good music, it just didn't really fit the scene tonally. And it's very spy music, which doesn't really fit the tone of the show.
Yeah,
Someone in
it's just
chat says, "I'm excited that it's almost finally over."
Yeah, I mean, throughout this whole series, I've been interested, I've been invested and engaged again, but now I'm back to deflated. I've gone through all the emotions with this series.
See, I did that process between the beginning and end of Spyfall Part 1.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, mine's lasted the whole series, so that's something.
So Spyfall Part 1, I was like, there's promise here. Maybe they'll do it good this season. And then the Master reveal, he was so over the top, and you saw that reveal. You know what it was like. I was like, oh, okay.
So now the Master's back. This boundary thing leads to Gallifrey, which it was always going to do. Because we've had this tease about Gallifrey. It's been built up all series. We knew that Gallifrey was going to be in the finale. Obviously, the boundary was going to be Gallifrey. There's no fucking surprise there whatsoever. And now the Master's back. So now the finale is literally going to be fan service and baiting about season 13.
What I am concerned about is that they've literally not even set up the stakes for the finale yet. The finale has to establish the problem and solve it. And it has the Ruth Doctor, the Timeless Child, the Master, the Cybermen, the Lone Cyberman, and Gallifrey to deal with.
Yeah, like, what is this finale going to be about?
Clusterfucking.
I can't tell. This is supposed to be part 1 of a 2-part story, isn't it?
Yeah. Part 1 should set up, like, 3-act structure. I guess, it's not a set rule, but I don't have, know the rules before you break them.
Yeah, like, I can't grasp any idea about what it's actually going to be about. Is it going to have Time Lords in it? Is the Brendan thing going to actually be resolved?
Man.
Are any of these characters, these last of the humans, gonna really do much? I mean, I saw them in the trailer.
Did you watch the trailer this time?
Yeah, I did watch the trailer. Yeah.
I didn't watch the next time trailer. I watched the trailer they posted to the YouTube channel.
Well, it was just more generic stuff like things are going to change in this episode. Everything you knew is a lie, Doctor. Boom, big climactic sound chord.
Yes.
So
Oh,
is this another part of their teasing? Is this another part of their ooh, keep watching because we might do something interesting
I just
by having a part one and not really giving you any indication of where they're actually going to go with it in the second
I
half?
think that's just not good writing because, like, the better way to do that would be get you invested in the stakes of the current story by making part one good and interesting. Instead,
See,
they've
this is
gone
what
like anything could happen in part two because we've got a million setups and an hour to resolve them all.
See, this is why I think you're right in that meme where it's Stephen Moffat, then you take it out of the door, and there's Chris Chibnall back doing the same thing. Is he clutching at straws? I think season 11 didn't really capture the public's imagination. It got people interested for a while, but the flaws in it and the criticisms were quite belligerent.
We're
And then
genuinely sorry.
series 12 comes along, and he's real. Okay, so Moffat do his tenure. He had nostalgia baiting and constant setups for what we might do in the future, and that kept people watching for a while. So he's just sort of scrambling together something he knows keeps people watching, keeps
Yeah.
enough of us watching to make sure that the show has some life in it. But that's just not enough.
This episode has genuinely got me to a point of like I don't understand why anyone likes this. Like, most things you can see, oh, there's something there. This I don't get it. I don't understand. Right, Zach, you're getting banned. That was a hot take there. Oh my god, Stu, I killed you.
What? No, no, that wasn't me.
What was you?
If
What's
if
going
it was
on?
if it was me, then you'd know.
What was you?
I was Zach the whole time.
Oh fuck, Zach was the Ronnie.
Yeah, Zach was the Ronnie. Zach was Brendan.
Zach was Brendan and the Ronnie.
Yeah, just that. Like that's what I can see happening. It's like, what did Moffat do to keep enough interest in the show to keep it going for a while? Nostalgia and baiting and setups and teasers about what we might do in the future. And that's why that article from Radio Times pissed me off, where he was saying that the finale is going to set up all the mysteries in season 13. So it just made me think this is not going to be conclusive, is it? It's just going to.
And that's just gonna make critiquing it so much harder because now I don't get to be like I just get to it is depending on how season 12 resolves. I might have to fucking delay my critique, which will be really annoying. But I'm hoping
Yeah,
to get it out like in a year. Like,
but that's the thing. If so, depending on how this series ends, if you don't have the complete picture, just make a specific note in saying that and saying, okay, so I don't have the complete picture. Fuck it. I don't care. What we've been given, just what we've been given is an incomplete picture, and it's just purposefully teasing me to keep me watching. Fuck it. I'm going to take this season for what it is.
well, it's like you get a jigsaw puzzle, and it's like you've put in three pieces, and what you can see is the corner of a turd, and someone's going, "What do you think the rest of it will be?" They're like,
Oh, I don't care.
"Will
Thanks.
will it
No.
be a turd?"
Yeah, whatever whatever the finale does, you've got enough.
Well, I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, the deflation has happened. I stopped caring.
Oh, I've got one piece of praise for the last one that I didn't notice in my notes until now.
Okay, go on.
Ryan's dyspraxia comes up, but it's not explicitly mentioned. This is like the first time it's happened since, remember when they
Really? When was that? You must have been paying extra close attention. I was
So
just pissed off.
yeah, this is something that you will like that I had to be like, oh, that's because of that, and I was watching. I asked her like, "Oh, that'll be because of that, right?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, it will. It's when he's trying to play piano and he can't do it and he's fucking it up. That's dyspraxia. Well, that's the dyspraxia getting him.
Is that because dyspraxia affects people in many different ways? Like I'm dyspraxic.
It's supposed to. It's coordination, right?
Yeah, it's
Um,
coordination, but that's the thing. It affects people in many different ways. Like, because I've never had a problem riding a bike, and I am definitely dyspraxic.
but it's like
And that was the big thing with Ryan in Series 1. He's just
I guess I'm giving it. I'm assuming that, but
yeah. I mean,
it does fit with the whole thing, and it's you
I
know
suppose.
it's showing him having difficulty with a physical task as
Yeah,
the
that's
guy
true.
who's
Yeah.
set up to be physically disabled in that sort of way. And it's the kind of thing that we should have got more of because they set up that thing. It set up that as a big part of like, it was the first thing we're introduced to him as. He's dyspraxic, and then it comes up again in the second episode. And it's obviously it's not going to control someone's whole life having that kind of a disability, but it is going to come up, occasionally, especially running away and doing stuff like that.
Oh yeah. See, I totally forgot that he had dyspraxia because as I said, I have dyspraxia, so I kind of forget that I have it sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's just it's I mean I can't say I know what it's like. Let's go with that. But
I do yeah, but that's the thing. I do kind of forget that I have it sometimes. So when I saw Ghost Monument, it was when I saw Ghost Monument and I saw that bit with the ladder. I had literally a blind spot in my brain where I wasn't thinking, "Oh, he's scared to climb up that ladder because he was dyspraxic." I thought, "Oh, he's scared to climb up that ladder because Grace fell off a ladder, so now he's scared of ladders."
that would be so much better. He
Yeah,
has a
because it's the
vendetta
trauma,
against
right?
ladders.
Yeah, I didn't think of it being dyspraxia because, as I said, I literally have a blind spot in my brain when it comes to dyspraxia because I have it and I've got used to it.
How would you rate this episode out of 10?
I would rate it.
Knowing that numbers are sort of pointless and superficial.
Uh, um, I would rate it pi out of 10.
That's quite high, considering all
Yeah,
we've said
that's
about
true.
it.
That's quite high. 3.14, etc. I don't know. Stop making me put numbers on it.
Sure, that's
It gets
that's
what
acceptable.
it gets 1 point for being a televisual experience composed of sound and lights arranged in order.
Half a point for the Cybermen being good world building,
Yeah,
and
half a point for that.
I think that's fair. The effects were fine, but like again, I think we can put the effects being. There was one really dodgy moment of CGI where they had the. Actually, there were a couple of really dodgy moments. Fuck it, no, never mind.
The cyber heads, yeah.
Yeah, and the doors all being CGI on the cyber boxes. But do you have any closing thoughts? Because I've not got anything left.
I'm deflated again. That's it. I'm deflated again. I was up for most of this series, but this one's deflated me.
Guys, go and
Because
shame Chris Chibnall for making Stu sad.
this finale is going to be crap, isn't it?
I
I,
would be
all I can,
shocked if it wasn't.
yeah, I would be shocked if we weren't looking at another Hellbent.
But like, at least there were good setups for Hellbent. Like,
That is true, yes, and at least Hellbent was interesting. This is probably not even going to be interesting.
it's going to be a different kind of interesting. I think it's going to be oh fuck interesting. It's like oh my god, that's what they're doing with it.
That's true. Looking forward to the stream we're going to end up doing on it.
That should be fun.
That
And
should be
then
fun.
after the,
I mean, that's probably part of why I'm calling Series 12 an improvement generally. Because I've had fun doing streams on it.
I'm happy. I'm happy to hear
Yeah.
that. One, and then after the season ends, we can do the TV movie.
That'd be fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's like with Series 12. I think I replied to a tweet that you sent out with Series 12. It's only really better because they've actually set off some fireworks this time round.
Yeah, it's just that stuff is happening now,
Yeah, whereas Series 11, nothing was really happening.
and they've not answered any of it yet. They've not committed to any of that stuff.
They've just set off some fireworks. That's literally all they've done. They've gone, here's the master. ooh, secret hidden doctor. Brendan, who's the most interesting character in the world.
I love that Brendan's becoming a meme.
Hello, everyone. I came up with a character called Brendan. Do you like him?
I love him.
Let me stick him in an episode for no reason. The only way that this finale will in any way be satisfying if there is no explanation for Brendan whatsoever. Because
I could see him doing it.
Because I would find that hilarious.
I could absolutely see him doing it.
Yeah, I would find that hilarious. So, yeah.
And it's not set up for season 13 either. It's literally
This
just
finale
abandoned.
has got so much shit to do now.
So much. Is it longer? Is that?
It's got to have the Ruth Doctor. It's got to. Has it got to do more stuff with the lone Cyberman or something? I don't know.
Well, it's got to resolve that plot, surely.
It should resolve that. Yeah,
It's got the humans hiding. We've already set up that humans have been going to hide in Gallifrey for ages, so it's got to do stuff with that. It's been destroyed by the Master now, and it's got to do stuff with. Okay, so there were humans hiding there. Now it's been destroyed. What's gone on with that?
The Timeless Child. And now Brendan as well. And he's just given himself Brendan for no reason.
The Master destroyed Gallifrey because because Time Lord Society was built on a lie. We don't know what that lie was. It's probably to do with the Timeless Children.
The lie
we don't know. We don't know how he did it. It'll be good to know that. I kind of think they're just going to gloss over it, though. You know,
and now he's just given himself. And now he's just given himself Brendan because I came up with a character called Brendan, and I wanted to put him in something. I wish I was still making Born and Bred.
I'm sure Brendan's going to play into it. Surely, he's going to be a timeless child. Calling it now.
Something like that.
But do you have any other closing thoughts,
Chris? Because I'm sure he's watching this. If you want to write Born and Bred again, go and write Born and Bred so I don't have to watch it.
I agree.
Yeah, that's my closing thought. Also, give Stu money.
But speaking of giving money, let's move on to super chats.
Yeah, do the super chats.
We've got arse tension of the Cybermen. Oh, I guess that's what a Cyberman porno would be called.
Arse tension of the Cyberman, as in Ascension of the Cybermen.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Good job.
Happy with that.
Chibs writes the text that describes what's happening for blind people and submits it as the script.
Yeah, like I said earlier, to select audio navigation, press enter.
Yeah, I actually almost accidentally watched Haunting of Villa Del thing with the audio commentary on without realizing that it was audio commentary and could be turned off. It was my mum who figured that out. Say figured out, you know.
I thought you were
with her
saying
human eyes.
I thought you were saying that you were watching The Haunting of Villa Diodati with the audio commentary on, but you didn't realise that the audio was
because it's normal season dialogue.
Because it just tells you what's going on.
We've got prediction corner. Chibnall gets diabetes and dies. Okay.
Bit dark.
You know, maybe he'll write himself into the finale. If anyone was going to do that, it would be Moffat, though.
Oh yeah, I think I came up with a joke along those lines and saying that the Doctor runs into the Hooniverse's equivalent of Stephen Moffat, who's cleverly called Meven Stoffat.
No. Stephen Moffat literally appears as himself and goes, "I am the architect of your reality, Doctor."
Well, he technically does that in the Five-ish Doctors reboot.
It's been a while since I've seen that, but I'm sure. It
Well,
sounds funny.
no, technically, as in you've got him playing with his action figure. Funny.
Oh yeah, that's great. I love that bit. We've got some money for Stu. Please narrate chapter 1 of the Manual Preceptor Military.
What?
Hang on. Let's just put this into Google to see how to pronounce it.
Hang on, scrolling up super chats. There must be a filter that.
Manual preceptor
Does someone want me to narrate
militaria.
something?
Preceptor militaria. Let's go. That's probably close enough.
I don't
Please
know.
narrate
If you
chapter
want,
1 of the manual Preceptor Militaria as just recompense. It is very short and is on the website Space Battles. Just Google Preceptor Militaria. It should be there. Okay.
Yeah.
And and that money was for you, so I will send you that money.
Okay.
I need to figure out how much it is in pounds though. And then we've got
My DMs on Twitter are open if anyone wants me to narrate anything.
Jodie will birth a fully clothed Stephen Moffat.
I want to see that.
Ew. Doctor Who is a dead body, but the BBC keeps beating it. Well, it's not dead. I think it's in a coma.
It has some sort of wasting disease.
Like, Doctor Who can never fully be killed. People have tried before. But I mean, they're really trying. And then finally
they're
got
really trying.
I Obey, which is a good reference. And I think that was when you were asking for money.
Yeah, give Stu money. Yeah, that is the meme now. Also, subscribe to my channel, because there must be people watching this who aren't subscribed to my channel.
Do it. But
do it.
Thanks for tuning in,
do it
everyone.
now. If you do not subscribe to my channel, then the ghost of a little girl who died will come and kill you in the night.
Oh gosh.
That's how you get people on YouTube to do anything.
It is.
Tell them.
Telling people to subscribe works.
Tell them that something horrible will happen. Something horrible will happen to you if you don't subscribe to my channel right now. Do it.
Oh my god! I just caught coronavirus for not subscribing.
Thank you for.
I am subscribed to you though. I am subscribed to you though. Of course.
That's good. Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thanks. Join us next week for the crap finale.
The clusterfuck of all clusterfucks. Bye.
Bye.